Yeah, now we can start. And sorry for my delay. I had some technical problems. I was trying to discover how to put my image in here, but now seems it's working. So let's start today our live video about how to achieve an international reliability engineering successful career. So the video just will have some discussion about which are the main aspect that's influence in this successful reliability engineer career. And there are a lot of I have my name is let me introduce myself. My name is Dr. Eduardo Calixto. I'm a reliability engineer with 22 years experience working by for different industry, oil and gas, railway, military, aviation, mining, industries in different projects in different countries. And I did a lot of experience also in different cultures by working in different countries in different projects and always work with reliability engineers. So, and then that's given me a concern about how is the future of reliability engineer, and also it's important to before starting to present and discussing technical issues. It's very important for young engineers to understand how are where are the opportunities, where are the traps they need to be concerned and be careful about. So that's why the reason of this presentation. So let's start. And the first point is to have a clear understanding about what is reliability about. So reliability is ability of a product to perform its function successfully for a specific period of time under specific conditions, operation stress conditions. So reliability is about success, not about failure. This is a very important point. So robustness, another very important features. That is the reliability feature. That is the ability of product to stand against high level of stress compared to the design stress level specified and keep its function successfully for a specific period of time. And then we have durability. That's the ability of product to stand against high level of stress compared to design stress levels specified and keep its function successfully for a specific period of time. This definition, so up to this point, is similar to robustness, and that comes the difference. And not be great, it remain useful life. So these three features are very important when we are develop a product concerning reliability. In many products nowadays fails because of the lack of robustness and durability, not because of reliability. Their margin of robustness is very low, so whenever the level of stress go a little bit higher, the products fail. So that will be the discussion for the next coming live sections. And but it's very important to understand that. Why I'm talking about that and define this concept because in the market there are different concepts, and you see the problem is many the reliability engineering because of the number of reliability engineers do not supply enough the request of the marketing. Many professionals that have no good knowledge of reliability engineering are working these fields, and that's a big problem also for reliability engineers. I will speak about later on. But this reliability concept from the beginning is very important. So what is not reliability? That's also important to understand. What is not reliability? Reliability is not failure rate, is not mean time between failure or mean time to failure or mean time between critical failure. Reliability is not RMT, RUMS, ILS, dependability. Reliability is not also to do the right things about the culture and leadership. So of course, leadership, culture, and do the right thing is important for any kind of process, maintenance, logistics, finance, and so on. But of course, will be part of reliability program. But we need to be careful, and there will be later on one slide about that, because many people try to sell the idea of reliability by these jargons, and these will be lead reliability engineers to the wrong path for their successful career. They need to be careful about that. So, what does reliability engineers do? So, it's very important. Then, to answer this question depends upon in which life cycle the reliability engineer are doing the activities. Depends on the company. Some companies, let's say, small number of companies um, define this complete flow from the concept phase to operational phase. That's the reality. So very small numbers of reliable engineers are able to go through this flow. So we have here the proper flow that's very hard to find. You can find that in NASA, in high level companies, but the small numbers of companies unfortunately. But the main point is here is depends on the life cycle that's your organization products or systems are, you will focus some activities. That's reality. So if you work on the design phase, for example, that's common in Europe. Many companies here they develop products and deliver this their clients request some modifications. They have some projects and then they need to deliver and make some activities in design. So they do this type of analysis. So they do lifetime data analysis, run analysis, a serial life test, reliability growth analysis, design FMEA, process FMEA, if they are in a higher level. So despite of I put an RCM, of course, reliability centered maintenance, despite of I including all these activities here, do not mean that's all the companies that are developing projects and designs of equipment have apply all these methods. Depends, and you see depends on the maturity of the company concerning the data and management. But you can have the opportunity to apply these methods when you are working for an organization that have that work on a design phase or even concept phase. And of course, between you also have opportunities to work in different phases. So that's very important points. Some companies that develop deliver products, they do not have a failure report and corrective action system. They do not follow up the performance on the client use, and that's a very big mistake because they are not able to fulfill their prediction of lifetime data analysis based on the fuse data, but that happens a lot here in Europe and across the globe. So that's a problem. But some companies, yeah, they are doing that. So you are also able to come here and to work on the fracas preparation and to prepare that student fields to the operational phase when their equipment are delivered to some customer and the customer are using their product here. But and here, of course, another phase that many reliability engineers work. So these are process plants that are do operating during operational phase. And then mostly these reliability engineers they collect data, they collecting data of failures, historical failure data, and they perform root cause analysis to understand the data, and then they predict also the reliability of this equipment to check if this reliability is achieving the warranty, the targets, and they perform run analysis in order to take decisions to how to improve the performance of their system. So many, that is most of organizations, South America, Africa, are in here because they have a lot of operational plants, process plants. They are operating too much in here, but do not means that when they select some, let's say, vendors, suppliers, they need to be aware about all these assessments, these methods here to define the proper requirement to get their equipment in high performance during operation. Okay, so depends on the phase that your organization works, you will focus more in different types of activities. And it's the dream is if you have the opportunity to follow up a product from the concept to operational phase, if you are able to real implement here the initial reliability engineering analysis like system failure mode effect analysis collecting data for systems that are under operation, in operational phase, equipment that are under operational phase that have the same, let's say, same stress, operational stress levels that are that the ones, the products that you're working here, and then perform an analysis and then go through all this analysis. Another point that's this design for reliability that's considered is how to high accelerating test, quantitative test, RGA, reliability growth analysis, is not high applied in industry, unfortunately, because this bring the product to high reliability, robustness, and durability. But this is the heart of reliability, because the reliability of the products is achieved during concept and design phase. So the design for reliability is very important for the development of products, and is a core activity of a reliability engineer to support the development of the product and concerning the performance of these products, concerning reliability, robustness, durability. But unfortunately, yeah, you see also that you need to be careful. Many organizations, they request reliability engineer, but in the end, they just want to deliver reports, and then they do not really use reliability engineers to develop their products. They just collect some data from some standards, produce some reports in here, some run analysis, some stuffs here, FIMEA, then deliver to their customer, and then when the product breakdown during operational phase, they try to fix that. That's a bad company to work, and that will not enable reliable engineers to develop a good career and a successful career. So that's one point that we need to be careful. So what does summarizing here is like, what does reliability engineer do depends on which phase your organization, the organization that you're working by, is focused. So if you're a process plants, they're during operational phase, you're supposed to do this type of analysis and activities. If your organization, high level organization that develop a product, use reliability engineering to support this the product development to achieve high reliability, robustness, and durability. And those are the organization that's indeed the reliability engineer is supposed to looking for. So you will be able to apply all these methods here and then follow up based on the fracas, what's happened in the field, and feed up your systems and for new projects. When we're talking about success, success is basically to achieve what you plan to. But it's very important when I see a lot of focus concerning reliability engineering career on certification, on hard skills. It's also important have softer skills. Softer skills are the ability to lead, to communicate, to interact with, and having that with different departments and external clients. And these are all soft skills, and hard skills are the knowledge about all these methods that I explained, that I mentioned before, and how you apply, how is the best method to apply. So, but that's not enough to achieve professional, achieve successful career. This is the basis. But if you're not if you're not in the right place with the right people in the right time, we will not achieve success. This is very important. Success is not only about you. Yeah, we need to do our parts. We need to achieve hard, hard skills and soft skills, develop our soft skills, but we need to choose the right place to work. Right place means organization that have a reliability culture, that have a reliability program established, and value that. You need to work with right people, and by the other hand, people that are not try to avoid mistakes, but try to achieve success and have the excellence culture. And then people also with harder and softer skills. What I see in many cases, that the knowledge of reliability engineering is very low. So if you work with people that have very no knowledge of reliability engineering, you are limited. You are limited to implement the proper methods, to implement better methods, do a very good job, because people will not understand. They believe that's what you're doing is try to complicate the things, and you do not get support, only stress. And unfortunately, that's happened in many organizations. People with reliability engineers work with wrong people, meaning people that have very low hard skills concerning reliability engineering. Then there are limits. And then, of course, in addition to have a right place and a right people, you need to have in a right time. So, for example, right now we have an international economic crisis in Europe, in US, in Canada, in Australia, everywhere. Yeah, in Africa and Southeast Asia, the economy is going better, but yeah, in the main countries that's in the past 10 years was the reference for job in marketing for you build your career now is scrambling, is going down because many aspects, international economic crisis, also internal aspects, the life of cost and so on. So what I'm talking about that because in the times that the economy crumble, it's hard to get investments. So this is not a good time where organization want to invest in R&D to develop their product. Let's put simple like that, and then that will affect your reliability career because you not get the budgets enough to making develop of products concerning test reliability test out the high level management is trying to cut costs, and that's why it's very important to choose the right place to do. If you work in an organization that is already have a reliability program, have a reliability mission strategy is rooted in their principles, in their vision, in their mission. So that's even if they're facing the challenging in economy, uh, they reduce their costs. They know they cannot compromise the quality of their product. That is sustained by reliability. If they compromise that, they will lose market. They will have worse financial results. That's why you need to pay attention in which time, especially concerning the economy. And the other aspect is I also need to mention that's what is going on. For example, here in Europe, some countries, yeah, I would say specifically in Europe, concerning foreigners, because if you want to establish your international career, some points of your career, you need to start to work for international projects. And there are two ways to work for international projects. The first one is you you work for a company that have a lot of international projects in your country, so you don't need to go abroad to work for international companies to build international career because you already working for international projects. From time to time you go abroad, but you build your career working for international projects dealing with international different culture and so on. This is one way. Another way is to go abroad, and many colleagues try. I myself, I did that in the past, and then you need to choose the country that you be based on, and that's very important strategic decision because depends on the country. You need to know the right time to go in this country that will influence in your success as well. So what I mentioned Europe because now there are trends in Europe for far rights, for a movement against immigrants that come from mostly immigrants that come from Middle East, Africa, South America, like me, and so on. And that's affect your success in the end because if you work in a place, if you choose a country that's is will make your life hard, miserable, that's make your career also hard and miserable. So right time, right place, right people. Don't forget that. No matter how good you are, if you have wrong people, wrong place, and wrong time, or one of them will jeopardize your career. So let's look inside now about what is the reliability engineer profile. So this is hexagonal uh, diagram that shows which are many features that our employee professional has, and one of that cuts up my eyes is very important is the investigative features. So this investigative feature based on Holland's hexagonal diagram shows that these people that enjoy analyzing math, interested in theory and science. Why I mention investigative because reliability engineering is based on mathematical statistics is and also if you when you work with equipment you need to understand the physics of the failures, why these failures occur, what's the main causes, and that's you need to both knowledge. And so this feature here, enjoy analyzing math, interested in theory science, is very important. The others, artist, social, enterprise, and conventional, realistic, that's not essential for that will helps. Of course, if you have social skills, uh, you will interact easier with other departments and parties, but investigative feature is very important. So I'm telling that because I see that many colleagues that work in reliability engineer, they don't want to look on the math, they don't want to understand the math. They don't want to behind the statistic, behind the analysis. They just copy and paste, get data from some standard, and that's it. So that's not real reliability engineer. And let's understand that real reliability engineer is based on mathematics and statistics analysis, and you need to and understand also the equipment, the nature of the equipment, the root cause of the failures, and so on, the stressors. So that needs some efforts. You need to have the spirit of investigate to know how this equipment fail or why is how it will build a robust equipment, and also analyze and apply the mathematical methods. Without a deep understanding, you will not be a successful reliability engineer. And I see many engineers that work as a reliability engineer that have a very high lack of mathematical statistical knowledge. They really don't even understand the vital functions, you know. So they have a wrong understanding about the vital functions and so on. So, and that's of course, this is a huge number. And in the end, what is wrong becomes right in many organizations. Unfortunately, because many people, because they do not have this knowledge in math and in statistics, they try to give the same approach. The usual case is that you use MTTF as an index because everybody understands what is an average. But to understand reliability and to really concept, and that's reliability functions prediction is built for different probability density functions. Going deep in this field, you need to put some effort. So definitely you need to have investigative features on you. If you're not, you'll not be a successful engineer. So believe me, what makes difference in reliable engineers is that they have this feature very strong. And what makes the difference, what they are producing, what they are doing is the basis of statistical mathematics they have, and as well as the knowledge about the equipment. So now the second point in the successful pyramid, this is first the first one. You need to have hard skills, soft skills. This is the soft skills you need to have. So you need to be investigative and looking for answers and improve always and excellence. And then now you're looking for the right organization. What is the right organization? And one of the very important points for reliability engineers are work in organizations that have high level of maturity data. What does it mean? So this is model that I got from this source here that shows data maturity model. So organizations, many organizations are, most of organizations are aware that data are very important, but not many of them put the effort to have proper data to take decisions. And that's essential for reliability engineers. Reliability engineers are depends too much of data. The core of reliability engineer are data. If you have no data, there's no reliability engineers. You do only qualitative stuffs like FEMEA. And to be honest, you don't need to be a reliability engineer to do qualitative stuffs. What differentiates and give value for reliability engineering career is the quantitative methods, not the qualitative ones. The qualitative ones are important, yes, very important. They support the decision, but you need to quantify. And the way to quantify depends on the data. So let's take a look on, this is the lowest level and this is the highest level. So the lowest level, the organization culture, the organization knows that data is valuable but does not know how to collect and utilize that. Many organizations, including here in Europe, have this culture. Technology, no data architecture exists, data is consumed, is bespoke, disconnected tools. So there is no real proper method. Strategy, data is only leveraged on an ad hoc basis for basic decision and reporting. Data managed governance is largely non-existent. The source of truth is value. So there is no owner for the data basis and how to proceed that and audit and so on. So many organizations standing here. And if you are a reliability engineer, you're standing this organization. Sorry to tell you that, but you're not be able to have a successful career in this organization because you're not be able to do real, proper, reliable, good reliability analysis because you have poor data. Let's see the another extreme in the highest level. So concern the culture. Data is fluid throughout the organization, dynamically integrated into all functions. Technology, data systems are highly efficient in informing decision and predicting results. So here you have already some reliability engineering program established. That's you have data systems, and and they are predicting results. That's about reliability engineering. Strategy, data used to invent new products, publish market research, establish clear competitive advantages. Data is used to invent new projects. That's about reliability engineering. You use the data, or you going to a lab and making tests, use the result of the data to quantify your reliability and also to check the product weakness, or and then you using this data when you make improvements in these products, you measure again this how is the time that is improved under such stress and predict in a current and usual operation condition and so on. That's about reliability in this is level. And then data is here in the data management. Data is meshed into organization system with confidential systematic process. So you have a program established. So to be honest, it's very hard to find organization this level. But you find if you find it, you're in the right place. So if you find that you're right place, to having that established as a process, they also mostly have the right people working there as a reliability manager and reliability engineer. So you probably you work in the right people. You only need to be on the right time. That's economy is growing, and then they will invest on the products, and then you had a chance to apply different good reliability methods. And you have something between. Something between means that's not so bad, it's not so good, it's some level of development. And some level of development means reliability engineers will have struggle to implement their methods because they're always trying to get data. And there's not established method, that's not a support management, there's not a strategy and so on. So here, if you something between here or here is you fail, 100% fail. Here means proficiency and driving some level between these two means you struggle to success. You struggle. You can or you cannot, and that's advice, and that's why you need to pay attention for this data. How organizations have the cultural data, their technology to apply data, their strategy, and the data management. So I in the past I made some interview. I asking about that. How you for interview if they have a, how they collect their data of their products, if they have a fracas system established, if they use that to make predictions, so on. And then based on their answer, if they do not have a clear and transparent and simple answer, or they are in this level here, means you struggle or you will not succeed in this organization. So be careful. You need to be aware, concerned about that. And another aspect of the organization is the management maturity of the organization. And that's very important because that also defines if the reliability engineer will be successful or not. So what does it mean? The initial level here is the level that's the process unpredictable, poorly controlled, and reactive. It's summarizing here, you have a totally reactive organization, meaning they react to the environments. They do not planning, and this is usual. Some organizations that work in operational phase, they have a process and they have no control about the process. When the very beginning was a training, I work in an organization like that, so they try to kill a lion, and they have firefights every day, some fire. And of course, this is not the environment for reliability engineers because you not have data, you not have a process. So in reliability engineers, complex stuffs, manager will not support that. So definitely, if you have an organization with this profile, and you need to be careful, you need to ask during your interview how you understand what's the level of organizational management maturity because it's deeply related to your success. So here, level two, uh, process characterized for projects and is often reactive. So this is the level of many organizations here in Europe. That's the suppliers or OEMs. That's they develop one product and then some their customers ask for some customization. They have a project, and they basically in this many of these organizations, project managers take decision. The project managers, um, they they try to always cut the cost and and deliver on time. So by doing that, they jeopardize in many situations, in many cases, the product development. Because to have a product developed, you need to invest. You need to invest in tests. You need to implement investigations, and then they are always limiting the engineering to improve their products. And in this type of organization, you work in delivering documents, as I mentioned before. Yeah, you going to do some FIMEA, some run analysis, but nobody care about the results, the recommendation. They just want to deliver documents, and that's very frustrating for a reliability engineer because the main objective of reliability engineering is to support the engineering to develop their product and achieve reliability, robustness, and durability. So it's very frustrating, but you need to be careful. There are many organizations here in Europe and across the globe as well, but in Europe, many that they just have their project management are very strong in organization. These project managers take a decision, and most of their decision, their focus are delivery part. And then they see what's happened. The other aspect that's many of these project managers, they are not experienced engineers that know the problems, know the consequences. They don't have a clue what they need to do. They do what their boss are telling them. They are afraid to make mistakes, and then they never implement this recommendation. They just concerned to deliver report and you will not be able to develop a real reliability career by working these companies that are led by project managers here. So that's the reality. So then we have other steps. That's then organizations start to be more proactive, and they are trying to controlling the process, to managing better. And here is the top level. They are always trying to improve their internal process to developing better products. And here's the best environment for reliability engineering because the concept of excellence, high quality, improvement is in there. So you not have to struggle to improve, to propose improvement, to propose a recommendation. So something between, again, you have some struggles here. The level two and one definitely um, will not achieve a high successful career as a reliable engineer. You struggle, you deliver a lot of reports yet, but you will not be able to implement, to improve, and that's the main object of reliability engineering. So when we're talking about reliability engineering, most of discussion is always about some specific methods. How to high accelerating tests, failure modes analysis, design failure modes analysis, run analysis, lifetime data analysis, viable function, but nobody, it's not nobody strong words, but you have not too much focus on the program. Without the program, you you do not really have a clear path process to for a long terms of reliability activities. That's let's put like that. So that's why I developed it in my book, and this is how my book runs card pyramids. So first should be a runs strategy. Then this is linked with the organization strategy, the business strategy. So they need to considering reliability, availability, maintainability, and safety in their strategy. And then, if the top level manager considering their strategy, of course, they you approve investment budget for developing a program. And a program is established, defined intention of organization, defining in reliability mission, vision, and then the reliability mission, vision, and the reliability policy. And then based on it, all activities reliability will in the end try to achieve the mission, the vision, and will be based on the policy. I will make one specific presentation about RAM's program because it's very important. Without a program, there's no long-term reliability activities. Whenever the organization face hard times that we are facing now across the globe nowadays, in this year and will be next year, concerning economic shutdowns, uh, hard macroeconomic environments, the reliability engineer will lose their support. They cut the investments, the budget for reliability engineers, the first one, because in the end of the day, they need to deliver products. They even to survive, deliver products not reliable, robust, and durable to survive. So that's why a program is important. A program, you in part of the program, you have runs methods, establishing procedure. The engineers are training, they know the methods, they improving this method, and so on. Then by doing that step by step, in the end, the runs performance achieved is a consequence of all these different levels of reliability engineering implementation and support. So another important aspect when we're considering a reliability engineer career is what is the external factor. I mentioned something about that before, and internal personal aspect. So again, some strengths that reliability need to have: investigative, definitely is very, very, very important. They need to have a creativity because not all the issues, problems that you face will be the same. Many it will be news, and they need to have some creativity to give the solution and also to realize some opportunities for implementation. High statistic knowledge background, high reliability background, good product knowledge. So this is a strength that reliability need to have. Some weakness, low industry knowledge. Need to be careful about that when you, especially when you shift from one industry in another to the other. So you need to increase your knowledge about an industry. You need to know the equipment, the systems. So, and that's some weakness. That's many. In some case, yeah, reliability engineers have, especially when you change from one industry to the other. So now we see the downside of automotive industry in Europe. So many of these professionals will shift to railway or aviation. So they need to be careful about that. For reliability engineers that work in automotive and shift to railway, they need to get knowledge about the industry, about the system, and so on. So another aspect that is this is very important: low communication skills. So I see, I knew many brilliant, reliable engineers that have low communication skills, so nobody knows that he exists, or nobody knows how good he is or she is, because they do not communicate well their analysis and their results, and even they are not take part into some conference, they not presenting conference, though nobody knows that. So communication skills is very important for any type of career, including reliability engineer. And reliability engineer have a very high, big challenge is to how to communicate to high level managers the result of a reliability analysis. As I explaining before, many engineers or managers has no knowledge, very no low level of knowledge concerning statistics and mathematics, and your results need to be in the end justified based on these mathematical statistics. And a very good strategy that I had in my career from the beginning was to translate the investment, the results in finance numbers. That's the language of high level managers, that's the language they understood. In the end, to be honest with you, many of them will never understand these mathematical statistical methods that are the basis for reliability engineering. But if you are able to translate your recommendation in financial way, in financial matters, in finance results, you'll be able to show them that's they have they is pays off to invest in this in your recommendation that you get for reliability. So good language knowledge is another weakness that's yet many engineers has still have in Europe. Yeah, engineers speak in average two, three languages, but it's still many of them do not are not feels good to speak in English. For example, in Germany, people do not speak in English. Don't like to speak in English. Many of them don't feel good to speak in English, and I think it is not only Germany. If you go to France and other countries, also here in Europe, that's not good. So skills language is very important. Try always to develop as much as possible your skill language. The first one is in English. English enables you to communicate across the globe. English is very important. Write and speak in English. I always concern about my English, read books, try to making videos. These all develop your English skills, you know. So, and another aspect that's a weakness for reliable engineers is low networks. So again, I know a new very top level reliability engineers, but they do not have networks outside the organizations. You need to go outside your organization. You need to be part of, take, choose one conference that's yearly on and take part into this conference. It's time to make network because that will be the opportunities for the futures. That will be the ones that you learning from. It's very important networks have good networks how to learn. You know, where are you learning from? So you need to have some references. I always have my reference inside the organization, outside people that I always follow up. The guys that I always ask or make questions when I start my career as reliability engineer, and always look in their papers, attend their presentations. So I attend some when I live in Brazil, South America. Even I was in my master's degree. I started to attend a conference in Europe. So there are the Israel that is a yearly and ARS. So this reliability symposium that in this time was led by Relasoft. And I from the beginning I started to prepare papers, send papers, make presentation. That's developed a lot your English skills, and also a lot your hard skills in reliability engineer. People ask you a question, make you thinking about what you doing. You get positive feedback, you get other negative feedback. That's part of the game, but that helps you to improve, and you create your networks, and that's very important. Networks. I have some colleagues that still I have contacts. Sometimes I ask them also some specific questions, for example, about tests that they know more than me. That's not in my routine, and that is the importance of network. So be careful with the weakness that I see that some many reliability engineers has. That can jeopardize your career development. Okay, so some opportunities here. So opportunities we see that's you have that's when you choose where to work, where to go. So economic stable economy, that's hard nowadays, but in the last 10 years, yeah, Germany, Europe, United States, Canada, Australia was good countries to go, very stable economy, good level of employment. You need to be careful of that. Clear and reliable visa process. Yes, some countries are it's very hard. Depends where you're coming from. Yeah, we South America suffer the same from that's colleagues that come from Africa or Middle East or Asia in general. So we have faced that we need to pay attention where is easier to get a visa, where is harder to get a visa, because that can jeopardize your career success. So sustainable life cost is another aspect. Medium level of organization, management maturity, as we mentioned, that's the maturity of organization, and good level of data utilization. So these the two we already mentioned, but also there are some external factors not considering the organization itself, such as a stable economy, level of employment, visa process. That's also important for foreigners. That's and that in the end you choose the country. So I would say that's in the current moment. I would not, if I was if I had in a position that I was thinking to shift to my country to other countries in Europe or in US, I would waiting for the next two years at least to see what's going to happen with the economy. If the Europe is going down more than it is at the moment, or they recover, or what's happening if United States if they recover in the next 2 years. So this is not a good time to shift, because the economy is not stable, the level of employees is very low. Here in Europe, they making harder the visa process. So they are actually they are threats here. They become threats. The economy has sections, low level, high level of employment, complex visa process. You see, that are the threats. And if you are facing these environments, it's hard to develop a career, to establish yourself in a country, and you need to consider these threats. This can be opportunity. You need to choose to see which countries gives you this opportunity. And then, of course, if you combine your strengths with these opportunities, you choose the right place, you have the right people, and in the right time, so that you achieve success. You need to transform your weakness and strength as much as possible, and you need to be careful with opportunity and threats, especially when you want to migrate to other country. You need to be careful to see the visa process, the population, how they are open or not for foreigners, as well as how it works the visa process, the visa work process, and the level of the employments, if they hire high age employees or younger employees. All these aspects are very important. I would say that's the situation that we are facing now across the globe. It's not a good time to go to anywhere across the globe. In the usual countries that's in the last 10 years was the reference: US, Canada, Australia, and here in Europe in general is not anymore. So they are balanced their economy. We need to waiting to see. So my advice here, yeah, waiting to see the next year what's going to happen in Europe, in US, in Canada, and Australia, and so on, and then takes decision. One very important aspect concerning these threats here, that's people usually when we want to they want to migrate, they never look on other sides. They never look on Middle East, Africa, nice people. So I had a very also good experience by um, Southeast Asian, yeah, and that's my folks in Africa as well. Africa countries are developing that I grew up, and that's our potential markets. If you have also your business, in my case I have my business, that's why I'm focused now to go to Middle East, to go to to Africa and so on. That would be the opportunity. That will be the opportunities. Okay, so when you're choosing a account, to be careful and be open. So that's the final recommendation. So what is now? Let's talking about reliability engineer maturity level. So as all professionals, we starting as a junior in our career. In the junior, you need to learning a lot, and the junior is the most important one, I would say, because in the junior have one particular characteristic that there's no other phase has. Here you can make mistakes. Here is the phase that you need to not only learn you learn in all phases, but here you need to try experiment, and here you can make a mistake because you're a junior. Nobody you fire you judge you too much because you made a mistake because they expect that you made a mistake when you're junior. But when you're not, you're signed to be experienced seniors. If you're not tasted, try too much here. Here you're afraid to make mistakes, and that's a problem a lot of professionals. So when you're a junior, try to experiment, try to learn as much as possible for right people, right people. So if you learn from wrong people, you learn wrong. Then of course this is about 1 2 3 years, and then after 3 years you learn. You It's very important also junior have a formal training with experts, real experts. That's This is the basis. If you're learning uh, properly in the beginning, your career path go is smoothly and easier. If you learn wrongly in the beginning with bad expert, if with false experts, false faking reliability engineers, you find out someone here later that your knowledge is wrong, and then you put in a position to defend what's wrong. That I see in many cases. That's unfortunately what's happened in many cases. So do not choose only your reference as a experts just based on companies, just based on certificates. See what these experts did in their career. The real experts, they did a lot of the reliability assessments in different projects in their career. It's not because they work in company A or B that's is a good expert or is a reference for you. So this is very important to pay attention, and I always paid attention about that. And I see that's one of the biggest problems nowadays, and I understand that is that many engineers focus to have some specific certificates to get a job. But the certificates do not gives you, they can gives you an entrance job, but they do not keep your job. What keep you in a job is your hard skills, soft skills, your competence. So if you have a certificate but has no competence, you not keep this job, you not keep this business. So that's very important to choose the right expert to follow up, the right books to read, the right, and don't focus on certificates. Certificates for juniors are important because shows that they know some standards, they know a minimal knowledge. For senior and so on is not is important anymore, but for juniors is good. That give them, because juniors do not have a high experience, but they shows that they know they have some knowledge about some standard they can do the minimum. So this is important for juniors. Yes, I got my certification, some of them here behind. CRP, for example, Certified Reliability Professional. I was the second one. That was in 2006, and I got my first certification reliability. I did to do some projects and a lot of training, did some projects, and I got my certificate. That was very good. But after that, but I working also, so I was competent to do reliability engineering and it increased my competence working in a lot of projects. So then I started to get experience. Experience here means you know how to implement reliability engineering methods in one specific case for your industry. Then, but you are not. Sometimes for the experienced professional, it's hard to then to establish a procedure to teach others and really be sure to take decisions. So that's come the senior, and that's about 5 to 10 years. Here you come have 10 years to 15 years. You're senior, and senior you're starting to be able to support others. So here you're not you do your stuff by yourself, but you're not really able to support others to answer many questions if they arise. Here, you are able to answer many questions if they arise. You are able to support younger engineers. Your senior here is 15 is 10 to 15 years experience. Then you're a senior, and then you become a specialist. You know all the methods and how to apply that. But usually, the specialists they work in one industry. They know how to apply all the methods in this specific industry. Now we change. If we change for other industry, they need to assess a different situation. They can do that, but they cannot do that as well. They don't feel comfortable. An expert, that's the difference between these two. Expert, no matter what's industry, no matter what's the products, no matter what's the process, they will apply reliability engineer. They will have the clear idea how to support this product development and how to support this process plan to achieve high performance by applying reliability engineering. They just need to have a minimum understanding about the product, a minimum understanding about the process, and then they will successfully will implement. The experts can work for all industries and they will be able to support. An international expert, the difference between these two is that this one is working in one specific country, this one is trying to work international with different countries, different cultures, and this also is very interesting that this affects also how easier or harder can be for the reliability engineer achieve the successful career. So I would say that, for example, here in Europe, most organizations they just want to follow standards. So they don't go ahead for standards. They don't have the culture to challenge standards. So that is harder for experts to getting from here to here. Because you always here they know everything about the standards. Here they want to in expert, they go beyond the standard, they give new solution. And that is hard in Germany, for example. That's is a country that they follow procedures, standards, rules. And they don't want to never mostly go outside the rules. So it's very hard to for experts. The life for experts in Germany is hard because for experts at least it's fine for an expert not because experts go beyond the standard. And in Germany they don't want to go beyond the standard. They don't want to go beyond procedures. They are very conservative. So and then, of course, international experts, as I mentioned, yeah, you work with different countries, and then you can see that the difference. I am working in Southeast Asia, in China, with US, where I work as a consultant by Relisoft, and with South America, in Brazil, I have some also even projects with some South American countries. That's give a background in here in Europe, in many countries, of course, in Austria, Lithuania, Latvia, uh, Estonia, Netherlands, Austria, Switzerland, many countries, Spain, Portugal, yeah, so Italy. So I had there France, so work with projects and also with people, manager from this culture. So you see different cultures, and depends on the culture, you have more or less opportunity to progress your career. So, and that's the main the good example that I gave here. So, for example, if you have in a culture that follows standards here, like Germans, follow standard, do not go outside, do not think outside the box, just follow standard rules, do what's the procedures tells. You'll be limited here. It's very hard to get in here, this level. You'll be limited here. Here, you know everything about the method, the standards, but you not go beyond. So, by the other end, if you work as in Europe, it's not all the countries. For example, in UK, as long as you give a result for an organization, you give profit, they will support you to go beyond the standards. Then you become an expert, like in US. So they think always to get more profitable, to have a good, to conquer their clients, and then they understand that you need to go beyond the standard. So depends on the culture, if people are open minded for new ideas or not, they just follow rules, you'll be able to progress easier or harder your career. And you need to be aware about that when you choose your country, when you choose your organization, as I mentioned before. So be careful, reliability engineers. So be careful with organization that you choose. Be careful with the country you choose. And as I mentioned before, you need to have the hard and soft skills, but you also need to work with the right people in the right place, and you need to be in the right time. So, concerning organizations, what's the challenge that's the organization have been facing recently in Europe and across the globe, but specifically in Europe. In Europe, there is a lack of experts in different fields, and reliability is a field that is across the globe. There is a huge lack of professionals. And then what's the many organizations trying to do is to mix and hire professionals that are not real reliability engineers to work as a reliability engineers and try to teach them the minimum that they provide that they can provide some reports. And that's the organization level two of maturity that's focused on projects and deliver documents. But many of them are like that. And reliability engineers need to be careful of that because you're not be able to achieve a successful career if you work for this organization. So that's the first point. You need to be careful with that. Another aspect that you need to be careful, and when you choose an organization, when you're interviewing process, you need to be careful. You need to make the right questions. In all interview, the interviewer will open a section for you, ask a question. Then, of course, you ask some question about the organization, but you need to have a specific question for this reliability manager, runs manager, or whatever is in charge of manager. So if there is not a reliability manager, that's a huge red flag. Because if the organization do not understand that there is need to have one specific manager to manage the reliability process, means that they not have see the importance to have a reliability process. So that's a big, and if this reliability manager do not have hard skills about reliability. They do not use tools. They just use Excel templates and so on. Another big red flag. So, and then of course, when during this interview, you need to ask about the data maturity. Very important. Without data, there's no reliability engineering. The core of reliability engineering is data. Depends upon how this organization have the data. Is is deeply related with your successful as reliability engineer. You need you. I always ask in my interview that I made in the past about the fracas. If they have a fracas, what type of fracas they have, how they collect the data, how they use this data to make prediction, which software they use to make run analysis. This is the core, the minimum. And of course, if they develop a product, if they are doing qualitative tests out, if they do out, if so, you need to question about that because there are a lot of organizations that they have no clue what reliability engineer is, and that's unfortunately, but that's the truth. And they just hire reliability engineers because there is some requirements from some clients to deliver some documentations concerning reliability. They hire some reliability engineers, but they don't have a clue, and you will not have a chance to be successful in organization level of maturity two projects that deliver the documents. That's the fact. So another aspect is that many organizations, because the lack of reliability engineers in the market, they start to hire safety engineers, and then they create these RUMs engineer. RUMs means reliability, availability, maintainability, and safety. This is very common for aerospace, for military industry, for railway industry, and then basically they want this organization they hire one engineer to do two engineers' jobs, safety and reliability. There are two different subjects that have an interface in some points because safety engineers need data to make their safety risk quantitative analysis, but they are different aspects. As a safety engineer is fully focused on standards to demonstrate that your product, your process follows some safety standards and is not proof that your product is safe, but needs that your shows that your product follows some standards and they supposed to be safe. But reliability is another aspect. Reliability is not to prove that you follow standard. Reliability is to develop your product, your system to achieve high performance concerning high reliability, durability, and robustness. And then you need to be very careful with this title, what they write in there that you supposed to do, and what activities they want you to do, as a reliability engineer, if they have experience of that, if the manager knows that. And another aspect is to ask about the team. How many reliability engineers have? If they have one, two, yeah, you can conclude that these organizations do not focus too much in reliability. If it's a huge organization that have a considerable number of products, they have a small team for reliability engineers, there's a red flag as well. And if the managers are not able to or don't want to speak too much about his team, this is another red flag. So yes, reliability is a domain that's not well understood for many organizations across the globe, in Europe, including Europe. And reliability engineers need to be careful and be aware about that. Otherwise, that will influence a lot in your career development. So be aware about these facts. So finally, what's the future of reliability engineer? The future of reliability engineer depends upon the attitudes of reliability engineers, of choosing the right company to to work effectively, and try always to implement the best methods, always to develop procedures, always to as much as possible support the engineering to develop products and achieve high performance. But that will not depend. That's let's say that's the reliability engineer's uh, task to be done. But indeed, as I mentioned before, if you are concerned the current situation across the globe with this microeconomy crash coming the next year, and also recessions coming, the level of investment and R&D, development of product, will reduce in many organizations. We can see that many organizations increasing their layoffs of employees, and that's a threat environment for all engineers, including reliability engineers. So I understand everybody needs to survive, but the most important thing is you need to be aware in what type of organization you work, what type of your people you work, and what time of time you are, to know in this time, in this organization, with these people, how can I progress in my reliability engineer career. Sometimes you need to be conservative. Yeah, now is a hard time. I need to keep my work, my projects, my job. I need to keep these clients, but you need to be aware that these specific clients, people, organization, and time will not let you give a progress. So the I understand that the the industries will face some high concurrence, especially here in Europe. They are facing already high concurrence from across the globe, especially from China and US, concerning the performance of their product, and they're suffering that, they are losing money. And my expectation is that somehow they realize that the solution for that is only one, to develop a reliable, robust, and durable products to increase their competitiveness against other products in the markets. And based on it, they and there is only one way to do that, by reliability engineer. And if they realize that, they will hire, they develop reliability engineers, not the fake ones, the real ones. They will invest and support reliability programs, and then the future of reliability will be good. If they are not, the future of reliability will goes down, as the macroeconomic, as many other organizations. So we need to see and waiting for what's real going, how these markets, the microeconomic will develop in the next coming years. And based on it, we we need to take the right decisions. So, and based on it, the reliability engineer will have more opportunities inside the organizations, but only if the organizations see the important, and be aware that they can all only achieve competitiveness based on reliable, robust, and durable products. If they realize that, they will focus on that. The organization that's realize that achieve the highest performance in their products and in their solutions. So that's simple like that. So, but be aware always which organization you're working with by the level of maturity of data, the level of mature organization that shows that tells you a lot. How can you will you progress or not in this organization's reliability engineering? The people that you work with, how they are aware about reliability engineering, how their level of knowledge of reliability engineering, and the time that you live. If is a economy growth, there will be more investment in research and development, in improvement. If there are hard times in macroeconomy that we are facing, there will be not, and that the reliability engineer life will be hard. However, when we're talking about some macroeconomy uh, challenges, you need to be aware that some industry, despite the general macroeconomy is going down in Europe and across the globe, some industry, like for example military, they are getting better because of the current conflicts across the globe in Middle East and here in Europe. There are a lot of investments, and the countries are concerned about military protection, to have some military equipments, increasing their budgets in military. So there is an opportunity here, similar to energy now, because the energy crisis in Europe, energy sector will supply energy to Europe is also important. So we need to be aware about also the situation across the globe to choose which place you need to work, and consider when you choose an industry if this company has the level of maturity in the data, the level of maturity of this organization management. Then of course you need to investigate that, ask for people that work in this company, and during if you do an interview, you need to ask and to check the answers to confirm that. Okay, so yes, summarizing, reliability engineering main objective is to developing product support the product development to achieve high performance, robustness, and durability. And in order to do that, you need to find an organization that value reliability engineering and that have a culture and maturity and data maturity to enable reliability engineers to do their job and progress in their career. So to finalize, to conclude, I always like to transmit this statement from Danny that without data you are just another person with opinion. So let's be connected. Let's meet again next month. That will be the next live. I will do 2025. I will do one live per month, and the next one will be about reliability program. How important is reliability program for a successful and long-term reliability implementation is it's one of the very important factors as we discussion here for reliability engineers achieve success. So thanks for your participation. We'll keep in touch.